Recently, when I gave a talk at the World Computer Conference in Brisbane, I gave a little simile to the people who were listening because they were very stressed out, as many people in Australia are. And this little simile made its way into the Australian newspaper, and from there is now on the Australian Stock Exchange website. Unfortunately, they haven't said where it comes from, but that's the trouble with us Buddhists. We invent all these things like modern psychology, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, meditation. We invent all these things, but we just forget to take out the patents. But nevertheless, I told this little simile, which is very powerful, which is one of the reasons why Buddhism has become so popular in our modern world, because this works easy to understand. I often hold up something, the nearest thing, and I ask, how heavy is this flower pot? And I gave this little simile over in Imperial College last October in London. Imperial College in London is full of scientists, and straight away someone looked at this and they said about 350 grams. Now that's what scientists are like, they don't understand anything. I said, no, that's not what I mean. How heavy does it feel? The longer I hold it, the heavier it feels. After 2 minutes, my arm starts to ache. In 5 minutes, I'll be in pain. In 10 minutes, I will be in agony and a very stupid monk. What should I do when it starts to get too heavy to hold comfortably? You just put it down for about 20 or 30 seconds. Buddhism is practical. If you don't believe me, you can try this at home. After 30 seconds, you put it down, you pick it up again, and it actually does feel lighter. Honestly, it feels much lighter than when I just put it down 30 seconds ago. So this is what we mean by stress in our modern world. We don't know how to put things down, to rest for a few minutes. And talking about this to business groups, to psychology groups, they realise that stress is not about how much work you have to do. There are some counsellors here, there's some people who work very hard, there's abbots of monastery, coordinators. Yes, we all work extremely hard. But the way to actually to deal with that is, it doesn't really matter how heavy is this pot of flowers. As long as you know when it gets too heavy to put it down for a few minutes and rest, then you know how to deal with stress. In fact, you don't feel stressed anymore. All it is using your brain, your mind efficiently. And of course, the best way of putting things down is a bit of meditation. Letting things be for a few minutes, resting and relaxing. But in fact, one of the other stories which I told last night, the place where I live in Perth, I have a big city centre, I have a monastery, so I was working 7 days a week, many hours a day, without sort of coming overseas to places like Melbourne, where I'd be looking after the Buddhist Society of Victoria. But I was having no rest, because every time I came to my office, to my monastery, to my place of work, it was always through lots and lots of problems to be solved, lots of business to be done. But you know a strange thing, and many of the abbots here will understand what I'm talking about. When other people came to my monastery, they said, oh, how peaceful it is, how beautiful it is. And I said, are you kidding? I have to work so hard here, there's so many things to be done. What do you mean this is a peaceful place? If you're the abbot, your temple is a place of work. If you're a visitor, oh, it's so peaceful and so relaxing. So I decided one day a week I would visit my monastery, the monastery where I live, as a visitor, not as an abbot. I would pretend that I was a person visiting from interstate, coming into my temple and seeing it through their eyes, seeing it as a visitor, not as an owner. And then, you know, those visitors were right. It was peaceful, it was happy, and I could enjoy my own temple. Like many in your home, you may go into your home and look at all the things which need to be done. Workers, you may go into your place of work and look at all the things which need to be done because you're an owner. Every now and again, be a visitor, even in your own home. Just like visitors come and say, what a beautiful house you have. They can relax in it. Why can't you? So a little psychological trick to sometimes the house in which you live, visit it, don't own it, therefore you can relax. Because in the Buddhists we take life easy. For goodness sake, never do today what you can put off until tomorrow because you might die tonight. That's very deep. Think about that. Never do today what you can put off until tomorrow because you might die tonight. Because we get so stressed out. Is that the meaning of our life, to get stressed out? Of course it isn't. So practical. All you women in here, you spend too much time in the kitchen. If you go home this evening, instead of washing up all the dishes in the sink, count them first of all. See how many dirty dishes there are. Compare them to the number of clean dishes on the shelves. And if the clean ones outnumber the dirty ones, quit while you're ahead. Because isn't it a case that modern people would just do so much and we spend too little time being peaceful? I'll finish off because we're running over time. Of a very important story from our modern life. And this is maybe not so much for the monks, but especially for those of you who work very hard in your life. Father came back from work, late. His 6-year-old son was waiting for him. When Daddy came through the door, the 6-year-old said, Daddy, how much do you earn at work every hour? None of your business. What does a 6-year-old need to know that for? Shut up. But Daddy, how much dollars do you earn every hour? Look, I told you, it's none of your business. I'm tired. Be quiet. But Daddy, how much do you earn? Right, that's it. You're grounded. Go to your room. Now, monks aren't allowed to get angry. That's why when I tell these stories, I really enjoy myself. Pretending I'm like, it's the only time I'm allowed to shout and get angry like this. So anyway, the poor young boy was sent to his room, and after the father had a cup of tea and relaxed, he realised he'd been a bit too tough on his kid. So he went up to his kid's bedroom, knocked on the door, let himself in, and said, sorry son, I had a very stressful day at work, I'm very tired. I don't know why you want to know this, but actually I earn $20 an hour at my work. I'm sorry for shouting at you. And the son smiled at his dad and said, thank you, Daddy. Now, Daddy, can I please borrow $10? And his daddy would usually really get angry again, but he'd already got angry once. He wasn't going to get angry twice. So the father gritted his teeth, took out his wallet, and gave his son a $10 bill. Thank you, Daddy. And the son reached under his pillow and took out another $10 in notes and coins, counted out 20, and gave it to his daddy, saying, Daddy, could I now have 1 hour of your time, please? Do you understand the story? I told that to a Muslim lady in the Salibs, Sulawesi. She started crying because that hit her so much. A single mother was working so hard for her little son, forgetting what was really most important, spending time with her kids. So these are little messages. We can still have both in our world. If we know how to deal with stress, with some positive psychology, which Buddhism is great at, and with the harmony and peace, which we're very skilled at building, with working together. I did sort of promise that this is a little advertisement, which I'm going to say now, that I will be coming back to Melbourne in a couple of weeks' time for an Australian Sangha Association conference. Please, all the monks and nuns here, we're trying to work together for the sake of the Sangha here in Australia. So please, try and join that Australian Sangha Association. It's not run by any one monk or nun or group of monks or nuns, it's for all of us. So that together, when we can work as one Sangha, family of the Buddha, with sons and daughters, with brothers and sisters, then we can actually do much more in Australia to further the cause of Buddhism here in this land. Sometimes it's with too many Buddhist groups and Buddhist societies. We have to unite, we have to move together as one. So please let us all come together. Now, for the sake of the Buddha, so that we can show whatever sect, whatever history, whatever gender, that we can show a way in Australia, so we can show unity between ourselves, between others, to show the way of peace and harmony. Just with these few little stories gives you a taste. The taste of freedom, the taste of peace, the taste of harmony. Thank you for listening.